I was using this hitch and my e-bike fell off the back. Let me tell you what went wrong and what you should do to make sure that that never happens to you. Stay tuned. Steve Sharon of the Adventure Outdoors channel and I were coming back over the 4x4 section of the Fort Fisher Beach, and his e-bike was on the back part of this rack and it fell off into the sand. Thankfully the sand is soft, the bike's okay. But what went wrong? Well, a couple things, and that's what you need to know, and then I'll explain how never to have this happen to you. So the first thing to note is your bike is held on with this hook right here. Then you use the included black strap to go ahead and secure the hook down to your bike. Let me get the bike on here and then I'll show you what went wrong and how to fix it. As usual, you need to take your battery off before you load it onto the hitch, because these batteries are heavy and the hitch is only rated for 70 pounds. And most of these fat tire e-bikes weigh in at more than 70 pounds when they have the battery on. The first point of failure on this is the hook. The hook is attached using these knobs, and you move the hook down over the bar of the bike, or if you've got a step through, there's an attachment that runs across that you can use. And for the bike on the front, you have to also attach or push down on the hook at the back if you're just using the front, because then that provides an additional layer of safety to keep this one down. Well, here's the problem. On this rack, which I've been using for about a year, the screw that allows you to tighten this down became stripped. So inherently, this was a little bit loose. Now the next thing you were supposed to do is use the strap that came with the system, and you wrap it around the top of the hook and across the bar of the bike. Run this down under the frame of the hitch, and then you go ahead and tighten it down as tight as you can get it. And then what I would do is I'd also put a little half hitch in here to try and keep this from becoming unraveled. But I've discovered over the last year that that never really worked, and that this would also loosen up. So how do we protect against those 2 points of failure? Well, the first thing is to check out your bolt and see if it is becoming stripped. And if it is, replace it with a carriage bolt that's 5/16 and 2.5 inches, and you can get a knob that'll fit that at Lowe's or Home Depot, and you can replace this with that, and now you can get a reasonable amount of tightness. But really, it's this strap that's going to provide most of the safety. So what I've done is I've upgraded the strap to an NRS strap, which is much stronger and will grip a lot better. Now I can wrap this around several times and do the same thing with going down, come back up, and now what I want to do is I want to wrap this around the top of these hooks and then go back down again and come back up. And what that does is it not only puts tension to pull this hook down onto the bar, but it also puts tension back here on these hooks to hold them tight down against the bar. So this is a 12-foot strap, and that's what I needed to do this. And then I tighten it down and put the same half hitch right here, and that kind of solves this problem. But the shortcut that I took when we were coming back from the beach is I normally put a safety strap on here in addition to the strap that came with it. And let me show you how I work that, and we'll discuss truck versus SUV at the same time. When I first got this hitch, I was really concerned about the weight of these heavy e-bikes and the 70-pound weight capacity of each slot. So back then, I would also run a ratchet strap through at least these two to provide additional support. Well, over the last year, I've become comfortable that this hitch is good and the 70-pound rating is valid, and there's probably some safety on top of that. So I don't do this anymore, but let me show you what I do. What I do is I take a ratchet strap, and I wish I'd done this coming back from the beach the other day, and I run it through a spot on both bikes if I've got both on. Then I run it over here, and now I'll connect it to the other end of the ratchet. Now here's where the magic is going to happen. This is loose right now, and what'll happen when I tighten it up is it's going to pull the bike back into the post and provide additional support back here against this hook. In addition, if the wheel wells were to fail or the hook would come loose and the bike pop out, then this strap is going to catch it and keep it from falling on the ground, make a big noise, and then you'll be able to stop. Let me show you. Notice how it's starting to pull back, and now this thing is on tight. So what do you do if you have an SUV? You don't have the hooks that I've got on my pickup truck that allows me to tightly put this in and move the bike and everything else firmly against this post. Well, here's the solution to that. If you have an SUV, you're not going to be able to do what I just showed you on my pickup truck, but what you can do is take a short NRS, a 6-foot strap, and use that to do the same thing. What we want to do is pull the bike back up against the post and at the same time provide additional blockage to keep these two hooks from moving up. So what I'm going to do is I've wrapped the top part of this around the post, and then I'm just going to double this over until I've taken the slack out, pull it as tight as I can get it, and then attach the strap. So that 6-foot strap is now not only wrapped around this part of the e-bike, but it's also sitting up here on the top of this post. So if the wheel wells did fail, it would go down against the post and hopefully the bike would stay on there a little longer. But the other thing is it provides an additional amount of security pulling the bike up against the post, so it doesn't have to rely on the tension of the hooks as much as before. Okay, so that was my story. That was the pain point we experienced, and I think with these NRS straps, the better carriage bolt, and the discipline to always use my safety strap, then I don't think I'll ever lose a bike off the back of this hitch again. Comments? Throw them down below. Thanks.